It's Tysic Thunder. And I knew the apocalypse wasn't over. That's why I never spoke on any of this yet, but I think now's about time. The mass releases, they happen every year, but this one's different. They never felt like this. And I can already hear some of you. Tysic, it's TKO. WWE is their slave name. Look, I don't care who it is at this point. It's fuck both. I'm on fuck both of them right now. If this situation has taught me anything, it's to not invest into any talent too early. I already kind of wasn't, but starting now, I'm done. I saw a clip on Twitter, Laney Reed hitting a nice sequence down in NXT. I said, no, I had to look away. I had to scroll. I'm not going to fall for it again. There's no telling what's going to happen down the line. I'm going to become one of you people and wait till they're the absolute main event before I become a fan of somebody, before I start glazing or seeing potential. And we're going to talk about getting over in the WWE in a second, but as for right now, I want to talk about the biggest names being released, because I'm not going to go through all of them. At this point, we're like at 26 plus or something, whether it's released or people walking out. So let's start with the New Day. That's the newest news, at the time of this recording at least. Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston have walked, because from what it sounded like, TKO wanted to restructure their contract, probably pay them $2 and a ham sandwich or something. I'll take the pay cut. You'll get the rest in tips or in bonuses. Probably one of that kind of shit. So then, because they had self-respect, is what I'm guessing, they walked. Because some of you would have absolutely stayed. I spoke about last year's releases last year when that wave took place. And then, of course, people want to come on here acting cool. Like, oh, look, here comes all the fake outrage. Not just to me, but apparently to anybody who cared for any of these people. You literally got people on Twitter that can't fathom. You're missing the point, too. Let me explain this to you. And this is why I blame creative again. Whether you were a fan of these people or not who got released, you got to understand that they continue the pattern of releasing people from the divisions that need help and could have been a good hand in contributing. Tag team division, mid-card division. You guys wonder why the shows aren't good. Anyone outside of main event level, they seem to not care, but then have to continue and go on to feature people from these divisions on the show. So of course the show's never going to be solid top to bottom. And then people always want to default to, oh, they weren't over. Karrion Kross was over. But again, $2 and a ham sandwich I think was the situation there too. So he walked, if I remember correctly. Having him lose to Sami Zayn. And then look at Sami Zayn today. Dude's out here fighting gingerbread cookies. You can't make this shit up. This is creative. But anyways, back to today. The New Day, Xavier and Kofi. Now, this took a lot of people by surprise. Everybody talking about how they thought they were going to be WWE lifers and stuff. I think that's about to end. This whole, I want to grow up I want a WrestleMania moment. I think we got about 5 or 10 years before that goes away. Because by then, if AEW is still doing good and is still number 2 or wherever they're at that point, as long as they're big enough, I think more people are going to start to see and scope the situation. Because again, I've already spoke about this a little bit before, but it's going to depend on what kind of wrestler you are. If you're an in-ring guy, you probably want to go to AEW. If you're a Danhausen, if you're an R-Truth, if you're a Joe Hendry, if you're a gingerbread cookie, you're probably going to want to go to WWE. Xavier Woods and Kairi Sane, that whole situation, I'm torn about the Kairi Sane one. Obviously, it's shocking, mind-boggling that they would do it at the time that they did. But then that's another thing. That's another reason why I can't invest. If a release could happen at a time like that, mid-story, on what should have been a hype story, because when you think about it, Xavier and Kairi Sane have a lot of similarities. Both are way better than the WWE has ever seen for them. Both should have and could have been mid-card title holders at least, but ended up not. Instead, the company want to hide them, keep them bound behind their more successful tag team partner, and they're both basically coming off of what should have been a hype story that eventually got derailed and messed up by an Australian. And they both have top rope elbow drop finishers. That's too many coincidences. But Kairi Sane, I'm torn. Because I knew for a fact that even if this feud continued and reached its conclusion, let's say it was Kairi versus Asuka, and the result was Kairi wins and finally beats Asuka and becomes free. I think it would have been all for nothing, because I could already tell that they wouldn't want to continue to push Kairi Sane after that anyway. So at that point, it was like, well, what's the point? You could have had her easily go to the mid-card scene, which they would have to do. But again, the people that could have held that belt or one of those belts, but ended up not because instead WWE want to release them, it's crazy. So yeah, on one hand, of course, I'd want Kairi back just because she was done dirty and didn't get to finish her story. And of course, she got her friends there and all, whatever. But at the same time, they weren't going to do anything further. So it's like, you just got to go somewhere else that respects you and appreciates you and be great there instead. It's just unfortunate that WWE has all this grace because of legacy bias over anything else. So most people kind of only, they really want it to work out. Obviously they would really want it to work out for them in WWE. But again, I think it's going to be soon where people stop looking at WWE like that. Apparently, these people at TKO, they keep changing their story as to why they're making some of these releases. I'm hearing that age is one of the most contributing factors as to why they're trying to make the cuts that they're making, which makes no sense because it's like, shout outs to Royce Keys, but didn't this guy lie about his age, making himself younger? And it wasn't even that much younger either, from what I remember. He was still like, I think, apparently late 30s. But I guess that's how we can predict that after a certain point, the Royce Keys push is going to slow down. He's not going to outdo Obafemi, if I got to guess. And of course, last wave, they released and re-signed R-Truth because of that outrage. And look at R-Truth now. I've been saying this. This guy was talking about, oh, I'm driving now. I'm driving now. Yeah, you're driving all right. You're driving all the way back to where you started in record time. We're goofy again. Unless I'm supposed to find it funny that R-Truth thinks Jelly Roll is Dominic Mysterio. Stop it. I keep telling you guys, this is for children. I'm all for some goofy stuff. I'm not completely anti-goofy or none of this. But my God, the fans in WWE really don't help because when it comes to getting over, this is another thing. Let's talk about this. People want to talk about, oh, get over, get over. Have you seen what gets over in WWE? The easiest way to get over in WWE is to do something brain dead goofy that can catch on. People always want to blame the talent. Or fans that think they're smart always want to blame the talent. Like, oh, they weren't over. You're doing a bad job. Get out of here. Oh, so let's talk about it for a second. Remember Ricky? Now, unless I'm completely out of the loop, this was his first appearance. He showed up as like a jobber. Kevin Owens, I think it was, introduced him. And I think he was supposed to have a match with, was it Kevin himself? I don't remember. But he showed up and he was over for doing nothing. Literally just because he looked funny and had chest hair. This is what gets over in WWE. It's looking like Ricky. It's looking like James Ellsworth. It's looking like Sami Zayn until people finally got sick of him. Before it was like, oh, he looks like a hobo. He's just like me. But now people switching up on him. Io Sky. I've said this before. It wasn't until she started pointing at herself. Now she's over. Vac hair. It was Devil's Kiss. If you don't just straight up look like a meme, you better have a sing-along or a dance-along or else these WWE fans aren't going to have it for you. Because really, and I stick by this, I've always stuck by this, it's 90% creative that should be to blame for people not getting over. This isn't a one-way thing. This is a collaborative effort. I would say it's like 85 to 90% on creative, and then the last 15, 10% is on the talent to stick the landing when it comes to the performance on what they've been given to execute. Like, I look at some of these talent, and I'm like, okay, I know what I would do with this person, and they don't have to resort to brain-dead tactics. Because the fans will get behind people, obviously, who aren't goofy also, but just not as easily if you're not actually doing a good job when it comes to booking, which is why Triple H is lazy as hell, because he wants to wait for a fatal influence situation where they get those levels of nuclear heat first night. Then it's like, oh, they don't have to do anything. It's like, okay, we'll just keep putting them on screen because the work is already done. Triple H doesn't have the creative capacity to build, and ultimately that is partly why we have to cycle in and out so many people before anybody gets a proper chance. People are losing their jobs because creative is bad. That's why I stay attacking creative, because everything could be traced back to them. Now I'm supposed to be excited for Lizzie Rain, Will Cruz, and Evil, which I'm hearing is Io Sky's fiance. I'm sorry, guys. I'm very sorry about this. But I'm pretty sure he's not whippersnappering it up when it comes to age. But WWE want to get younger. They're making the right decision. They should be getting younger. But let's talk about this for a second. These mid-card titles again. How about using the actual mid-card to hold the titles? You don't need Becky Lynch to drop down to the mid-card division to hold the belt, to make good television or to put people over, whatever you think you're doing by doing that. That's not the case. Because you've already used it up. You use it up on the sake of AJ Lee, whose run is apparently over now, for now at least, or whatever. I don't even know what the situation is there. You can go ahead and put Becky back up in the main event. Again, you have enough talent. I don't know about SmackDown, but you got enough talent to where, again, if you were creative, the mid-card could work itself out if you actually saw it for people who are pretty good. But again, WWE always want to go with the clout route when it comes to their tactics on how to handle things. Oh, let's use celebrities. Let's use this name here. It seems like another mass exodus, not even in talent. I'm talking about the fans, I guess in the IWC, started to fade out with the product. I think we're hitting another one of those periods. Me? I still watch WWE only because there's still a few people left that I support and tune in for. But like I said, I'm not investing anymore. None of this new wave. Nope, not looking. Everybody talking about Lizzie Rain and her Thunderstruck kick. Nope, didn't see it. I don't care that it's named Thunderstruck. Hey, Tyler, did you see that Will Cruz clip? Oh, he hit this craziest combo. Yeah, I saw it, but hey, I'm trying to forget. I'm done. I'm not investing. I'm one of you guys now. Jobbers. Oh, he's fat. Oh, speak English. Hey, am I doing it right? Women's wrestling. Ew. She's not going to fuck you, bro. Why don't you come over here and join us like a real man? Get on your knees and suck Roman Reigns' dick instead. Yep. OTC. Is that how you do it? I'm done. I don't see talent anymore. It's a business. Fuck creative.